All right, guys. Try to jot down the endings of the first and second declension real quick. Second period, Cyber Soldiers. Y'all can skip ahead a few minutes. I'm going to give them a few minutes to write down the first and second declension. So I hope y'all had a good snow day. We're going to try to have the same week in terms of, like, where we're going to get by the end. And just kind of delete the Jeopardy day, which I guess is sad. But we'll do Jeopardy next week. It's more important to do it next week since that is the end of Chapter 18, or this is the first week of Chapter 18. What? Yeah, go find your mask. So we'll just do Chapter 18 spot translating and, like, practice today. The homework will be due tomorrow. If you already did it, congratulations. That's great. And then Friday will still be a Chapter 18 and 17 vocab quiz. I need Caden, Brayden, and Daniel to get something out to write on. Bailey 2, Cora 2, Adrian 2, write down the first and second to clinch. Now, guys, y'all can choose how you want to do this. Would you rather have a first declension set of blanks on this Chapter 18-17 vocab quiz, or next week when we do the Chapter 18 translation quiz, do you want to do both first and second declension at the same time and not do the first declension on this? That's probably kind of really confusing. But you either have, like, a mixed quiz that's vocab and a first declension template, which for most of us should be, like, really easy, or to, like, next week, or we just have a vocab quiz, and next week we have a translation/declension quiz. Raise your hand if you just want the quiz this week to just be vocab. So Sarah wants it just to be Chapter 17-18, so does Adrian, Keaton, Daniel, Caden, and Brayden, and then maybe Callie. So I think that was Chloe too. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Raise your hand if you wouldn't mind doing the first declension on this quiz. 1, 2, 3, 4. Callie's kind of like between 5. So I think it sounds like we're just going to do vocab. So still write down the declensions. I'm going to come back to this. Don't look up, don't look up, don't look up. Let me find y'all's vocab. Where's your vocab? So it's these words. These words right here. Let's say I'm going to pick 15 from all. Oh, wait, sorry, it's still frozen. All right, Daniel and Parker, stop talking. Adrian, Sarah, stop talking. So these words, I'll probably pick like 7-ish from this set, and I'll pick 7-ish from this set. Let me see if I can tell y'all what to look for. A lot of verbs. So look at the verbs, especially the bottom part of these vocab sets, Sarah, for the second time I'm asking you to stop talking over me. The verbs in this set and the other set. You're going to want to know those. Videor, that's probably likely because it's somewhat common. It doesn't mean so much to be seen as much as it might mean seen or appears. Danged it, that's an adverb I always forget, so I might put it on just because I forget it sometimes. Cur, I might put cur on there, like cur. These nouns are actually pretty easy, so I probably won't put too many nouns, honestly. So yeah, know the verbs, know those ones I just pointed out as well, and maybe know out, either or is actually good to know. So it'll just be vocab. So that's something even someone like Avery probably can do okay learning 2 sets of vocab well enough for a vocab quiz on Friday. It's kind of a lot to ask, but it's a little less than first declension. Raise your hand if you were unable to jot out all the first declension endings when I said to do that. Who is unable to do first declension? Keaton, really? I doubt it, dude. Are you sure?
Like the last 3.
Okay, let's look at it. The last 3, okay. Because the way, where's my thing? It's so dumb. Okay, here it is. All right, don't look up if you're still trying to test your memory. But, like, how it'll appear on the quiz next week, since it sounds like y'all don't want to do it this week, you'd rather do it next week, which you can do that. The way it'll show up is, like, I'm going to put nom, jin, dat, ak, ab. Yeah, nom, jin, dat, ak, and ab. I'll put those so you don't need to remember the order of the cases. You hopefully should know that, but you don't have to worry about, like, getting accusative and ablative mixed up or anything like that. So what you might want to do is, like, figure out how to just, like, go down the singular side and the plural side and, like, maybe phonetically know them, like, I, am, ah. I know that this one is long with a macron, this one is short without a macron. Like, if you can sort of know the sequence of them, then that works. Maybe if I ask you point blank, like, oh, what's the accusative singular first declension? Maybe you can't think of it that way, which you should be able to. But if you can at least do the order in your head, then that means you can like recreate a noun chart anytime you're doing like starting a translation quiz. You can just like write it out for yourself, and that's good enough, right? And the Buenos Aires is even easier. I, arm, is, as, is. So maybe learn them like that. But yeah, we'll do that next Friday. It'll be that, but it'll also be second declension. Who in here knows they know the second declension? So it's like a very small number. It's a lot. Pretty much everyone's doing this if they are. So yeah, next week we'll drill the second declension like crazy. But maybe we'll assume y'all kind of know the first. But I still want y'all to come in here tomorrow and Friday and just start by writing down the first declension. All right, there's that. We got to catch up with where we are. So again, vocab quiz, guys. Do like when you're in an essay today, please don't like just be like laughing really obnoxiously. I feel like the sound of y'all's laughter during essay, there's something really ear piercing about it. So I don't want to hear it anymore. And your newborn clearly doesn't either. You need to be studying instead of having fun. The school's not about fun, guys. So study your vocab today and tomorrow so that you can ace that vocab quiz. Don't want to forget about chapter 18, qui, quae, quod, right? Things like who, which, that, or how we're going to translate these depending on the context of the sentence. Whether it's referring back to a person or not a person. Is going to decide if it's who, which, or that. Which or that are kind of interchangeable usually. If it's genitive, it'll be whose or of which. I don't think we say of that really. And if it's a person and it's one of the objective cases, ac, ab, or dat, that's a weird order to put them in. It'd be whom, or it would still just be which or that. Which or that doesn't decline in English, meaning it doesn't change. Where we do decline who, into whose, into who. So yeah, it's really not that bad. I really like this chapter. I like this concept. Avery doesn't know about it yet too much. Sorry, I'm going to keep singling you out. But it's good for me to have somebody to remind me that I should always be teaching like someone is having to learn all this like way quicker than usual. And I'm going to have a packet for you eventually. And then maybe I can print it out for all the 1.5 kids, where it just like is a summary, chapter 10 through 17. All right, but now on chapter 18, we're dealing with the passive voice. It's this attribute of verbs that we haven't discussed before, the voice of a verb, if it's active or passive. All of them have been active up to this point. You're going to hopefully recognize these very distinct new-looking endings. If you know you're looking at a verb and it has an ending that's like not O, M, S, T, must, is, went, it might be one of these if it's not an imperative, right? Maybe it's like a command or infinitive. But otherwise, it might be passive. Especially this chapter, most of the verbs are going to be passive. And instead of like the subject actively verbs or is verbing, it's going to be the subject is verb. Or it's going to be you if it's second person are verb. Or it's going to be am if it's first I am verb. Versus we are verb, y'all are verb, they are verb. We use are for all the plural ones. There they are. And they're even on the sheet right here in the middle of the classroom. Sorry, e-learners. I'm talking about, the passive voice sheet. All of those are, because unfortunately what you can see with this chart is that there's all 6 tenses exist in the passive voice, which is like nasty seeming. Right now, y'all just have the first 3. And y'all don't even have like, I think you wait until chapter 21 or something to give you third and fourth conjugation future, which are nasty and extra weird. And you'll get all the perfect passives like next chapter 2. They're fine though, honestly. Spotting imperfect passives, super easy. They just squeezed BA in between the verb stem and the passive endings for like present. So bar, baris, bator, bomor, bomini. We're gonna use was and were instead of and, is, or are. So I was verb, you were verb, it was verb, etc. Future are about as easy to spot too. But I truly, truly hate this one because it looks active to me, but B-E-R-I-S instead of where you see B-I in most of the other ones. You see the B-U-N-T like fun cake for third plural. They will be verb. So just like future perfect, future passive is going to be pretty dang rare. We also have these different ablative types showing up in specific ways with passive verbs. So we learned about ablative means before this, where like an ablative just seems like it's just floating in the ether with nothing, no preposition to translate it with in the sentence. You use what? What do we use normally with an ablative of mean? What preposition? Well, so now we use by with a passive verb, but say it's an active verb, we probably use what, Lucy or Daniel? With? Yeah, you'd use with, but in the context of a sentence with a passive verb, that'll be by. So this is like the fatherland. This is deleo, delayere, to destroy. Is destroyed because it's passive. What? Igna? Not just is destroyed, comma, fire, but is destroyed by fire. Yeah. We wouldn't say with fire. Like that almost conveys the same thing. But that would be like if it was, I don't know, like the fatherland is destroying something, then it'd be with fire. But if the city is destroyed, so actually the ablative of means in that case will show us what is actually doing the verb, but the verb itself is happening to the subject, which in this case is fatherland. And then, so that's it if it's like a thing, like fire. But if it's a person, patria deletur Cicerona, that would be the fatherland is destroyed by Cicero. And actually, let me make a correction there. And with an ablative agent, you will see or ob. Okay, is just a shortened version of ob. Just like how ablative means in active verb sentences with. Formerly, or ob in a sentence with an active verb was like from, but this will be by here. So the fatherland is destroyed by Cicero, which is a funny sentence, honestly. So yeah, just know that you're using by basically with any kind of ablative, whether it's spelled out with an or ob, as it should be still here, or if it's not spelled out. Let me add that one real quick. You're supposed to always have the or the ob with an ablative of agent, but I feel like there's a couple of examples where they drop the or ob, but it is an ablative agent. So it's the same thing. It's just agent is for if it's a person, means if it's for an inanimate thing. All right. We're going to be doing spot translating for the rest of the class. So this is your chance to fill out the weekly word log, which there are a good amount of extra copies in the white table right now. Please confirm that you don't have one before going to get one of them from the white table, right? It's the first one I gave you was two-sided, so I didn't think anybody had gone on to the second side. I will check these on Friday. I'm going to be less lenient than I was last time in terms of, like, if you want your full credit for it, you'll have to at least put 4 or 5 words in each category. Try to be honest. I'm sure that'll happen organically if you're just being honest about the words you don't know. And don't just put down words just to put them down. And please stop me to clarify the part of speech of something or what category it go in or what conjugation or declension a verb or noun has respectively. Let's do some sententia antiqua, a few of those real quick, and then we'll move on to some sentences from the back of the book. But some of these are kind of lame, but they'll get us warmed up at least. Quia here is just going to be because it's like quad. So possunt. Avery, what does possum posa mean? Not to be, that'd be sum. I say it's to be able, exactly. So we can translate this as who, and think of a blank of soda, Avery. What person and number is possunt? So it's going to be who, and then a blank of soda. That's a weird hint. Callie? Yeah, so, but who? I, you, it, we, all of that. I don't see a noun in plural. Braden? Yeah, they can because this is just a weird sentence. And then it looks like an infinitive. This is the infinitive of possum. I don't know what to do with it yet, so let's look at like the actual conjugated verb here. Videntur. What voice is videntur, Cami? Is it active or passive? Passive. Video videary means what, Sarah? Video videary. You have video? Yeah, and so how would it's not that, so they can because it's still they, it's not they actively see, it's they what? There's a specific way to do it, but you can also give it literally too, it's fine. Parker? Are seen. Are seen, so yeah, are seen is how we would normally translate a passive verb like this. But what did I just say a few seconds ago, videor? It can be to be seen, but it can also be more like change one letter at the end of seen, seen. So they can because they seem to, this is weird, but I'll say they seem to be able. Right, like they are able because they seem to be able. I don't know. It's one of those sentences anti-quag. So it's like a little quote from some actual lag. But out of context, it's like, okay, cool. So yeah, it's good to know that video or videary, it's like, it's so common apparently that it gets its own dictionary entry as a passive verb. Normally they don't do that. Normally it's just like any verb we have formally gotten is active in its dictionary entry and we can just make it passive if we need to. But this is like, it's like different. It's like so common that it gets its own passive dictionary entry. So to be seen maybe, but usually seen or even appear is how you usually want to do that. All right, etium is even or also. You'd put it in the bottom category if you didn't know that. It's even or also. Even, what kind of men, Bailey? Fortes weary. Forte. Yeah, strong or brave. I can gloss that up here if you want, but fortis forta is a third declension adjective that means strong or brave. So even strong men suddenly, so Betsis is gloss for us, just means suddenly. Suddenly, and I'm skipping ahead. I don't know what to do with Pericles yet. Saipe is like often. Terrentor. What is the voice of Terrentor, Elena? Active or passive? Good. So, and it agrees. It looks like it's third plural. Looks like our last passive one was, so it agrees with brave men as a subject. So it's not brave men. What does Terreo Terrari usually mean, Caden or Braden? Terreo Terrari. Think of terrified. Well, it means terrified. So it's not brave men terrified. It's brave men because it's passive. Make it passive. Where would be past tense passive? Are terrified. Yeah. Even strong men are often, because they're terrified suddenly. And then what do we do with Pericles? They're often terrified suddenly. Pericles? Pericles is either ablative or dative. It means danger. I can write it out if you want. I will. Well, what? It's just ablative or dative floating there. We don't know what to do with it. So we did just talk about this. Caden, Braden, or Daniel, what do you think we could do with danger? We don't want to just say are terrified, comma, danger. Yeah, I think because it's an ablative of means or agent. Yeah, it'd be means because it's like not a real thing. If that was like by Cicero, that'd be agent, and it would be ab Picarona. Good, beautiful. Any questions? Okay. Keep practicing. Tua concilia sunt clara nobis. Oh my gosh, what is this? It's like tenaris, scientia orum kiwium omnium. Okay, I hate this one. Teneo teneri is a verb I feel like we never, it means hold or keep. It's kind of like a strong version of habeo. At least the first part's okay. But tua concilia, what should that translate to, Luke? Or Keaton? Tua concilia. So claris means bright, clear, or famous, which all are kind of different things. So it's clear or bright as in like literally visible, or clear or bright as in like abstractly visible. Like a famous person is like they're visible in terms of what, in a figurative way. Anyway, clear, bright, or famous. Tua concilia though, what's that? Can I use concilium? Luke and Keaton must not know it. Parker, Cora, what's Tua concilia? Whose concilias? Concilium concilii means anyone? Oh my gosh. I mean, your plan? Your plans are clear. What was that, Cammy? Yeah, it can be counsel, as in the way I'll spell it in a second. So it looks like everyone needs to write concilium in the top part of their thing. What declension is it, Parker? First, second, and third. Thank you, Alyssa. Second declension, because it has a long I in the genitive, basically. It's neuter, for what that's worth. And we get words like, I don't know. I guess we get counsel from it. All right, your plans are clear. Two is just your. Novice, though. Clear novice. So novice, and this is for 1.5 gives the degree. Y'all should really listen up, because this is where y'all kind of left off. Wait, it's novice with a V? No, it should be B. It should be B. So this is a first person plural pronoun. And so where the first person singular, so words like I, my, and me, the second plural are we, our, and us. So nobis is either ablative or dative. It should be nobis, I'm almost positive. So is it ablative or dative here, anyone? What do you think? Like, it doesn't have, but your clans are clear with us? Doesn't make sense. To us, so maybe it's like what? Dative? And what do I say here? Weird. Okay, so the version of me that was editing the slide thought it was nobis. I just never corrected it. I'll probably go back to nobis. Nobis is like from Nova, new. Your plans are clear to us. Tenaris. What voice do y'all think Tenaris is? I guess it is only one thing. It's the one I warned about. It's really, really awful. So do I have... Huh? Future sounds good. Someone say future? But what voice? Active or passive? I think this is the future passive. Okay, so yeah, this is that nasty ERIS. For some reason, the Romans didn't like BIRS, or the rest of them are like BI, except for one case. This one's just weird, right? BA for imperfect passive makes sense, like you were verb. But this is weird, like you will be verb. And even then, it's like I still don't feel like you will be kept. I'll just kind of give y'all that one. It's kind of weird. Like you will be held, scientia orum kiwium omnium. It's hard to tell, but all three of these actually go together. This is from Dick Hoc. This means all or every. So you will be held with something about knowledge. What case is knowledge here? Cora or Adrian, what case is scientia with the ablative? I mean, with the macron over there. And how should we translate it? You'll be held with knowledge? Harder? Yeah, it's probably not what it means. You'll be held by the knowledge, orum kiwium omnium. What case are all three of those words? Chloe or Allie or Prudence? What case are orum, kiwium, and omnium? Allie? Not accusative. They do have the UM, but it's not U. It's ORUM, at least for one of them. The other two, it is really just IUM kind of. Huh? Good. Is that what you're gonna say, Prudence and Lucy? Okay, so it'd be the knowledge what? Of omnium. All this or these, or these are those citizens. These, because it's from Hikai Kok. Orum barely looks like it's from Hikai Kok, but it is, so it's this or these. So it'd be these citizens, of all these citizens. I don't really know what he means here. I guess he's talking like abstractly. This is clearly like Cicero talking about Catiline trying to burn out Rome. He's saying like your clans are known to us, so you'll be kept by the knowledge. Like you'll be restrained, like you'll be literally arrested because the knowledge of the Romans dictates that. Oh no. You have better ones coming up. May Tarent. Who can Callie or Lucy? What is May Tarent? Or Sadie? Who Tarents May? Who? Yeah, they terrify me. Ad eis terror. Now it's not they something terrified. What person is terror? It is passive. What person, Sadie or Avery, is terror? I do have, I know this is kind of small up here, but I think it's present. What voice though? Active or passive? Huh? It is passive. So terreo would be I, scare. Terror, you add that R, it's not passive, it's I, not scare, but I am scared. So they terrify me. I am scared of eis by them, because that's a third person personal pronoun. Eis is going to be them, dative or ablative. Here it's probably ablative of the company. Or, I'm sorry, agent. Good. Why did I pull that up? Oh, just to show you guys that eis is them, ablative or dative for all genders. These are what 1.5 kids are learning right now. They're focusing on these. So where's the genitive and dative are a little weird. Eos is his or her for all three genders, and at E is to him or to her, dative for all three genders. Other than that, they actually have normal first and second declension nouns if you understand them to just have the stem E, like the letter E is their stem. So it's just going to be things like his, her, him, her, they, their, or them. These weird, horrible third-person personal pronouns. Anyway, they scare me. I am terrified. Why did that happen? By them. V is this horrible. Third person irregular, third declension, irregular noun that means power or strength. And it doesn't even have a genitive case, or like some of the cases it doesn't have. I'll just tell you this is an ablative. So I'm scared by them. It looks like he says I'm scared again. I'm scared V aorum. Anyone? What case is aorum? That one we should be able to recognize. Okay. Good. So it's like I'm scared something strength, and then a genitive that is plural. Remember, we don't gender our plural third person pronouns. We only gender our singular ones like him and her. When it's plural, we get to use this like umbrella term. So, I'm scared. Something about power. Something about. No, I'm scared of, or scared. We don't want of for power. Of might go with whatever. Huh? I'm scared by the power of not them. Of them almost sounds right, but it's technically not. It'd be of We can say their power. So you say the power of theirs, or you can say their power. There is obviously a little easier to use. So Aorum is there. Whether it's ORUM or ARUM, it's always going to be there because it's just genitive. You're not able to reflect the gender of what it is, so it's just always there. You can put that in your noun section if you want to, like separate. Because technically, anytime we have a third person personal pronoun, like we're supposed to say that it's coming from is, aya, id, he, she, it. But like you can just put the individual case that you're wanting to like try to remember, right? So I'll go back to like Ayus, you can put means his or her. It's always going to mean his or her, maybe. That is always going to be to him or her. Aorum is always going to be there, etc. Aos and Aos are both going to be them. You can't gender plural third person pronouns. Every once in a while they function demonstratively, but I feel like that only happens for a couple chapters and it kind of stops. So we have an ablative of agent here because it's like I'm scared by them as in people, whereas this is an ablative of means because it's like the power of people. So yeah, just know the difference. So if I change it to like I'm scared of Cicero, that would also be another ablative agent. What am I changing it to? Yeah, I'm just saying I'm giving you other examples because these are kind of weird words. These are words maybe at least get Corona you recognize. All right, let's do a sentence that has a active verb versus its passive counterpart. This is kind of like the example I showed you. But what's the subject of the sentence, Avery? The first one. Yeah, so the tyrant. Deleo deleri is, I think, a new verb from 17 or 18. So what tense is it, Avery? Does he destroy, destroyed, or will destroy? No, that'd be delay bit, B-I-T. So it's the tyrant past tense destroyed. That's imperfect. Destroyed hunk urbim, Cammy. Not that city. That'd be Ilam urbim. Yeah, this city. Hey, can I calculate this? That's really small. Sorry. Whereas the passive version of this, we have to change the subject entirely to no longer tyrant. Now he's going to be another case. But hike herbs delay batur. You can translate just hike herbs delay batur. So Sarah, now it's going to be hike herbs is the subject, which would be what? I mean, it's in the first sentence. It's just in a different case. Yeah, this city not destroys actively, but delay batur. It's passive. And what tense is it, Sarah or Bailey? It's passive voice, but is it present, imperfect, or passive? Sorry, imperfect passive. Yeah, so it's like, and make it passive too. So it's not he actively destroyed. It's that he, it needs to happen to, or I'm sorry, the city. It's not a he. And it needs to happen to the city. So this city, what? Yeah, exactly. Was destroyed a Tirano. Anyone? By the tyrant. And that's ablative of means or agent. Yeah, it's agent because he's like a person. Good. So yeah, let's just kind of get to demonstrate. I should make this red. That like, and an active verb equivalent, the subject's verb being direct object, where once you make it passive, the direct object becomes a subject for the verb to happen to it if the verb is passive. And whatever the subject would have been in the active verb sentence becomes the ablative of agent or means. Does that make sense? So there's this weird like swapping of like the subject and the direct object with the new subject and the ablative that it's actually doing. In City East Delabit. Oh, that's, I don't know. The city was destroyed by a tyrant. It was or were be it or will. What? Yeah, it will be destroyed in City East by plots. Plots would be ablative of means. Good. Hope y'all are getting some words for that word log. Did y'all enjoy the snow day yesterday? I had the last class and there was like at least a few like no's. It's like, when would you not like a snow day? It was good. I mean, that's only the third one we've had all year, right? So that feels about right, honestly. Like a little low for the end of Jan. Maybe we'll have 2 or 3 in Feb. We'll see. But no, I think that was great time. And I don't mind dropping a Jeopardy day, you know? All right. Looks like we have a drop subject, so we can use he or she. What tense is Move, Batur, Sadie, or Callie? It's passive voice, but is it present, imperfect past, or future when it's Batur? Good. So it's not he or she moves, and it's not he or she is moved, but it's he or she was moved ab amicis. It's like the figurative sense of move, like you're emotionally moved. Yeah, by friend or friends. Plural, by friend. Yeah, she was moved by the friends. And then, she's moved again. She was moved by Conciliis Eorum. This is kind of like what we already saw. She's moved by Eorum's Conciliis. Whose plans? Yeah, she's moved by their plans. So, again, it's just kind of illustrating we have an ablative agent in the first part because the friends are the agent and their people are the ablative. And then we have an ablative means technically because plan is not a person, even if it's a plan that belongs to a person. That kind of makes sense. I guess it's a point worth making. Viribus hominum non delamor. What person in numbers delamor? It is passive, but prudence or Elena. What person in numbers delamor? It's passive. Passive present. Good. So what's our subject? I, you, it, we, all, they. Huh? Yeah, it's we. So it's kind of like the in-us ending, both of you are. So the R makes you think passive, but the in-you is maybe still making you think first plural. So it's like we, what? Not we. It's not we actively destroy, but maybe Luke or Braden. How do you make it passive? Not we actively destroy or are destroying, but we make it passive. Don't make it perfect. Don't worry about the tense. It's going to stay present. Or here it's present, at least. Not will, Daniel. We are destroyed, right? Yeah. But it's non-delamor. So we are not destroyed. But y'all get that, Luke and Braden, how we kind of had to make that happen to the we? We are not destroyed. We are this hominum. This is that weird word again that means power or strength. It looks like it's just weary like men. But if you think about it, this is a third ending. And we're a second declension, so it's just wearies when it's ablative. But we are not destroyed by the strength of like men or humans. Yeah, hominum there is that horrible genitive. Here's that word I'm talking about just to show you guys. We got it in chapter 14 with all the irregular third declension words that we call I-stem third declension. You don't have to think of them that way. But there is no genitive apparently or dative, but there is an ablative. There's a weird accusative that kind of looks accusative-y. And then in the plural side, it always looks like it's going to be men. It looks like just like men. But that would be weary, wearorum instead of wearium. Wearis, not wearibus. Anyway, it means power, strength. Ocean's weird because the ablative dative are the same. New base is weird because the nominative, singular, and plural are the same. But that's like words like fish in English. Fish can be a single fish or a bunch. And then apparently we have a passive infinitive coming up. So remember, that's another little nugget this chapter. Is that infinitives can also be passive, and it's simply by just changing the E at the end to an I. So it's actually really easy to form. And so laudare, the active infinitive is like praise, where laudare is to be praised. Let's see why I brought that up. Oh, I see. So we are not destroyed by the strength of the men. Why did I bring that up? Just to show you first person plural. There it is. But possumus? Anyone? We saw possum at the beginning, huh? Yeah, we are able to, or we can, but we can. And the reason I told you about the passive infinitive is because we have one coming up. Which one's the actual infinitive? The city east or delay re? Yeah, so we can be destroyed, not. So if it's delayra with like an E at the end, it'd be like we can destroy. Here it's like we can be destroyed. In city east. We keep seeing it. By plots. Yeah, if y'all learned one word today, hopefully it's insidious. But we can be destroyed by plots. All right, I know we're just doing like a ton, but eventually I'm sure I run out of slides. Eventually, right? Non bello della bene. It's kind of in the middle-ish. Oh, this one's really weird. You'll probably just have to spot it. But like Daniel or Luke, what person in number is deleba many? It is passive. What person? We just saw first plural. We've seen a lot of third singular and first person singular. Yeah, and so it does. It's the only one that doesn't have R in it, but it stands out like crazy. I mean, it looks like very distinct. What tense is it, Parker and Keaton? 14. What tense? So it's second plural passive. Passive. Is it present, future, and? It is future. What makes it future, Parker? The I. Kind of the I, but like the BI together. Yeah. But yeah. That middle part, right? If that was BA, that'd be like And so it means to destroy. So it means y'all what, Keaton? Y'all will, because it's future, what? To make it passive. Not y'all will destroy actively, but y'all will be destroyed. Yeah. So with future passive, you're always busting out be. And will. It's just will plus be. It's just two helping verbs, like the same helping verb. So technically future passive is like the easiest one to translate. So y'all will not be destroyed, Bella. Anyone? By war, but Amora. But the love, OTE, that's from OTE, we haven't seen it forever. It could be Packus here too as well. But the love of, because the gender of peace and the facilities, we've also seen that 1,000 times, huh? And the plans, homina malorum. Same cases of evil men. Good. And that apparently is the last slide, and I didn't even color code it. Rutro. Okay, that means y'all have over 10 minutes to do your homework. So everyone's going to be able to do their homework for sure tomorrow. So please do that and or study for the vocab. I can show you the pages at the vocab. Yeah, it's just chapter 18 17. Don't waste your time. I know there's weirdly, paradoxically now an incentive to make sure you have something to do, an essay, or else because like otherwise you have to copy lines. But I mean, no matter what, you'll be able to study an essay. But that shouldn't stop you from doing homework now. Anyway, I'm going to stop my recording.